Welcome to this week's question before the next restructure. Actually, we're going to pose 3 questions. But before we start, does anyone even doubt that there won't be a next restructure? Okay, so before the next restructure, here are the 3 questions we need to ask. What are the business objectives we want to achieve? What changes do we want to make? And how will these changes achieve those business objectives? Now, our 3 questions map nicely to Joe Peppard's Benefits Dependency Network. On the right-hand side, we can list our business objectives, and hopefully this isn't just another cost-cutting exercise. But what about the changes we need to make? Well, from experience, research, and our implementations, we have found there are 3 foundational changes. They are a fractal structure, leadership breadth, and navigating futures. These 3 pillars for excellence work together to deliver on our business objectives. We can use the Benefits Dependency Network to show how they achieve these business objectives. A fractal structure is our first pillar for excellence. Now, everyone complains about the problems that functional silos create. Political infighting, budget games, finger pointing, lack of transparency, the list goes on. But we don't think to fix the root cause, the functional silo structure. A fractal structure is an antidote to the problems caused by the functional silos because they simply don't exist. Fractal structures are a hierarchy of segments, leading to a self-sufficient frontline team that reports to one manager, not the virtual cross-functional teams with matrix reporting that we're seeing too often today. In fact, in our fractal structure, the managers of our frontline teams report up to the manager of the next segment level. For example, a customer segment to a country segment to a region segment. Using the principles of Team Topologies, we can enable fast flow for each frontline team where we balance the cognitive load of the teams, which include value stream aligned teams who cover broader capabilities and the specialist team that provide deep domain support. Our managers of the customer segment and the managers of managers, country and region segments need increasing breadth of capability. And this leads to the second pillar of excellence, leadership breadth. Research from Yale University shows that we often promote functional experts as managers up the functional silos. However, I think we all know that the best salesperson doesn't always make the best sales manager. The same for the best engineer, the best accountant, or best brain surgeon. Yale found that we need managers with skills in collaboration, communication, and coaching. These are often described as T-shaped people. They have broader skills than just their original domain. Now, this is the most disruptive change because today's functional senior managers may not be the right ones going forward. But we shouldn't be too hasty. Many of these managers will embrace the change because the traditional organizations have been stifling their leadership. The fractal structure and leadership breadth build the foundation for a change to the operating methodology. This is the third pillar for excellence, navigating futures. As Niels Bohr stated, it is difficult to predict, especially about the future. Annual budgets are an attempt to predict the next 12 months, and we stick to our budget trying to make it true. Meanwhile, the world just chooses to go on its own merry way. If a new opportunity to capture more market appears, but we need more budget, our head hurts, thinking about all across department meetings and levels of escalations that this would take. Sound familiar? So just like our functional silos, another root cause we need to fix is annual budgets. Using beyond budgeting's principles, we have navigating futures, which replaces fixed annual budgets with relative targets. If we're making more money, we can spend more. When we hit a speed bump, we slow down, regroup, and go again. Navigating futures means we need to delegate decisions. If we're in rapids with a big boulder coming up, We can't wait for a committee or a win room to tell us which way to paddle. Frontline teams decide on the here and now, guided by their nested mission. Middle management clear roadblocks and address systemic issues. Senior management look further out to the there and then. Are there longer term investments to be made? New markets to chase? Does the organisation's mission need adjusting to thrive in new realities? Having mapped the enabling organisational changes, we can now see how the 3 pillars for excellence create sustaining organisational changes. Our frontline teams are given a real mandate, empowerment to make decisions for their self-sufficient teams. Decision criteria is based on their nested mission, which is aligned to the overall mission. Local feedback loops inform their position and progress. Is this like your organisation, or do you hear the management chants of, "We are one team," just spread across multiple silos? People are our greatest asset. Well, until the next reorg. Together we can achieve greatness based on our top-down targets. Now, our managers also have a real mandate based on the new operating methodology. Command and control doesn't work. Managers who are stuck in this mode are soon found out. Managers naturally focus on making their teams as effective as possible. They share the accountability of being successful. Combined, our sustaining changes enable the fast delivery of value, innovation in products and services, higher quality, less errors, and quicker responsiveness. We now have the right foundation to implement those process frameworks like Agile, Spotify, Lean. Too often we just slap these on top of our existing functional silos, annual budgets, and we wonder why they don't deliver the expected results. Does this sound familiar? An important area to carefully manage is talent management. As mentioned earlier, this is the most disruptive change. Middle and senior managers in functional silos don't just slide across to the corresponding layers of the hierarchy of segments. We can use assessments like Lectica to make sure we have the right people on the bus and in the right seats, to quote Jim Collins. Individual contributors now have a skill-based path across the Team Topologies specialist platform and enabling teams. These can exist at higher levels of the hierarchy of segments, which avoids the problem of management being the only career path. Our sustaining organisational changes lead to the business enablers which deliver the business objectives. The organisational hierarchy of segments align to the overall mission. OKRs are focused externally, and the key results are measuring the relative targets as per Navigating Futures. Our frontline team and management mandates deliver job satisfaction, ownership, and increased productivity. The teams are responsive to both internal and external customers, which increase customer satisfaction and revenue growth. A major change is true cost management. Money is spent in line with successful delivery. It stops those end of financial year rush to spend whatever is left in the department's budget. Another important change is middle and upper management don't become stuck in the weeds, not doing constant reviews to find out what is going on. They are looking out into the future, making sure the organisation remains successful and quickly adapts to fight off a disruptive competitor or to pivot to cover changing market conditions. Okay, this completes the quick overview of how we map the foundational changes of the 3 pillars for excellence to deliver on the business objectives. It brings us back to our 3 original questions. What are the business objectives we want to achieve? What changes do we want to make? And how will these changes achieve the business objective? We encourage you to map these out before your next restructure. Thanks for watching. You can download a copy of the Benefits Dependency Network from our website, signalroad.com. It is A2 sized for printing. And before we go, please remember, if we don't change direction, we will end up where we're heading. Thank you.